all. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Rohan from Qfuss. Qfuss is an on-demand mentorship platform for all your mentorship needs. So basically, what we do is we want to make mentorship accessible and a viable option to individuals who are seeking it. And so, hence, we do have a community of great mentors, leaders, and experts from various domains. And individuals who are seeking mentorship can browse through our list of mentors and can arrange a one-on-one personal session with the mentor of their choice. So we do offer a safe space for meaningful conversations, and the mentor can guide you throughout your journey. For any more mentor-related requests, please log on to www.qfuss.com. And welcome to Qfuss webinars. So today's topic is how to increase traffic through leads and in digital marketing. And we have with us Mr. Rohit Onkar. He's the Associate Vice President, Digital and Direct Marketing at Loyalty Rewards, and he has vast experience in digital marketing, and he is considered as one of the top 15 digital marketers in India. Over to you, Mr. Rohit.
Okay. Thank you, Rohan, for the introduction. So, what I wanted to actually do in today's session is obviously we will be talking a lot about digital marketing, and I'll be giving you a few tips to not only increase traffic to your website, but also convert it into lead generation destination, right? Get contact information of your potential customers. But before I actually get on to sharing examples, I wanted to just touch upon a little bit of my journey in the field of digital marketing, right? So for me, it's been almost a decade of professional experience in digital marketing, and that's pretty much my entire career. I mean, over the years, I've kind of gotten a realization that with time I've become very passionate about this field, and I think a lot of stuff that you actually end up doing on the digital marketing front, because it's such a practical domain, is because you're passionate about it. So whatever I'm going to tell you today in terms of the tricks and some tips on how to kind of taste digital marketing, a lot of it might seem new to you, might seem first time to you, might seem good to you, might seem not so good to you. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to implementation, right? I'm going to make this very, very clear. I mean, you have thousands of resources available today, both free of cost and not free of cost, where you can learn about the best practices of digital marketing. But if you do not implement what you've learned, right, or if you do not implement what you're talking about, it's like reading a management book, but the result out of it is not really seen if you do not put it into practice, right? So with that said, I want to kind of give you a few tips on where digital marketing is moving towards, right? And I mean, if you were a person like me that started digital marketing 10 years back, it was very simple to get traffic to a new blog that you've started or a new website that you've just launched as an entrepreneur, right? As of today, this field is seeing intense competition, right? And it's not only a challenge to get traffic, but it's an even more difficult task to get quality traffic, right? And I'm going to stay very relevant to my topic. What I mean by quality traffic is people who are interested in taking the next step with you, right? That is giving you your contact information so that you can follow up with them and eventually sell your product, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen because I want to, as I talk, I am going to also share examples, right, of everything. So just want to share the screen, right? I think you will be able to see my screen now, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. So The first thing that I really want to talk about when it comes to the new normal in digital marketing is, gone are the days when we used to bifurcate digital marketing into different sub verticals, right? So people used to talk about search engine optimization, people used to talk about social media marketing, online reputation management, people used to talk about Facebook marketing, people used to talk about LinkedIn marketing, etc., etc. And till today I kind of see people, and if you were to kind of go on the net and look at digital marketing courses available, there are people who are advertising it, saying that there are 72 modules. Somebody says there are 36 modules. I read last week that there's a guy who says there are 137 modules in digital marketing and you can get it for whatever that cost was, right? I mean, all of that at best is a marketing gimmick, right? For me, as I have seen the industry mature, I am very, very, very clear that there are just two bifurcations, in fact, three bifurcations of digital marketing. And those three bifurcations are, using paid media to get new customers. And when I say paid media, I'm talking about Google advertising, I'm referring to Facebook advertising, I'm referring to LinkedIn advertising, I'm referring to TikTok advertising, I'm referring to some other platform that launches advertising tomorrow, right? So that's the first vertical where really you acquire new customers. And when I say customers, they could be direct customers or they could be leads that turn into customers eventually. That is the first vertical, which is new customer acquisition through paid media. The second vertical is new customer acquisition through organic media, right? This is where I put all your SEO, all your social media, all your online reputation management, and everything. So the fundamental difference today in digital marketing is just a thin line which says that whatever you do with an advertising budget is paid media acquisition, and whatever you do which is effort intensive but does not require advertising money is organic media, right? Is acquiring customer through organic media. Those are the two broad components of the industry, really, right? And now you could carve out hundreds and thousands of modules between those two broad components. The reason I said that there is a third component is because in my mind, there are two major types of businesses, and I have been involved with these two major types of businesses. There may be other types of businesses as well, but I have classified my businesses into two different types, right? So the first type of a business is a lead generation business where the fulfillment of the purchase is not happening online, right? So you have financial services, you have within that you have banks, you have insurance, you have mutual funds, you have equity products, education, etc., etc. These all are businesses which are not purely e-commerce, right? To complete a sale, there is a huge offline element to it, right? So that's, but then they still invest a lot in digital marketing because they want people to come to their website who are interested people in their services so that they can give qualified leads to their salespeople to follow up. Right. So the first type of business that I really categorize as a business is the lead generation business. The second kind of business is the e-commerce business. Right. Now, depending on these two types of businesses, the two verticals that I spoke about, new customer acquisition paid and new customer acquisition organic, these two verticals can be bifurcated into 10 different sub verticals, 20 different sub verticals, 50 different sub verticals, and skill sets, etc., etc. Right. But at the end of the day, in digital marketing, you either acquire leads slash customers. I'm using the word because for e-commerce businesses there is no distinction between a lead and a customer. For a non-e-commerce business, a lead is a person who gives their contact information online, and a customer is someone who converts from a lead to a paying customer at the end of the day, right? So but in all honesty, right, there are just two ways. So you either get leads or customers using paid channels, or you either get leads and customers using organic channels or free channels, right? Free as in obviously there's an effort involved in that, but there is no advertising money involved in that. right? So these are the basic two bifurcations. Right now, I get a lot of questions from prospective clients, from existing clients, from a lot of webinars that I end up doing. Is it possible for a business, or is it possible for an entrepreneur to really focus on one of these channels? So the I mean, if I were to answer that question as honestly as possible, the answer to that question is no. Right? Until and unless you are running a business as a hobby, or you're running a blog as a hobby, okay, then you might say that, you know what, I'll be stronger in one area and I'll be weaker in the other. But if that is not the case, it becomes imperative that you focus on both these areas equally, right? So yeah, so both these verticals that I've spoken about are equally important. Okay. uh, let me now deep dive into both of these areas or verticals that I spoke about, or the bifurcations that I spoke about. Number one is paid media, right? Now you may actually run a business of any scale, right? But you have to do some amount of paid media. Now, for those of you who are very new, paid media is has a lot of options on digital. So you can run an ad campaign with Facebook, you can run an ad campaign with Google Ads, you can run an ad campaign with LinkedIn, you can run an ad campaign with TikTok, you can run an ad campaign with several platforms, right? What I have really noticed in my experience is that a lot of times people ignore very niche platforms when it comes to lead generation. And I'm just going to give you an example. Okay, if you can see my screen here, right? This is a snapshot of an advertising platform called Outbrain. Uh, I am sure everybody has experienced this platform while browsing on the internet. We just don't know the name behind this platform, right? Let me give you an example, right? I'm sure all of us are consuming content on Daily Hunt. On Times of India, on Economic Times, on Scoop Boop, on several other websites, right? We all are consuming content. Uh, when you're consuming content on those sites, as you scroll down, as you keep browsing through that website, you see recommended articles or suggested articles, right? Whether you're on a mobile device or whether you're on a desktop device, those are actually in the industry called as chumpbox ads, right? They are called chumpbox ads, but I like to call it as native ads, right? The reason I like to kind of call it as native ads is because they don't look like ads, right? And that's the best thing that I've really learned in the digital marketing industry. For any ad platform to be super successful, don't let the ad unit look like an ad as much as possible. I'm sure that there are some of you, if not all, who still are under the impression that if I'm reading an article on, let's say, money control, for example, and I see a suggested blog or a suggested read, it does not look like an ad. And you're right, it does not look like an ad, but it is actually at the end of the day an ad. Now, the reason I really wanted to talk about this is because, when it comes to paid media, different businesses will have different budgets. Okay, so I mean, you might be a very small business just starting off. You might have an appetite to spend 10 to 15,000 a month, and there might be a business who's doing this at scale, who might have an appetite to spend 10 to 15 lakhs a month, right? Uh, but at the end of the day, it is extremely important to not ignore these niche platforms. And I'm not trying to say that don't do Facebook advertising, don't do Google advertising, do it. But my point is, you need to be a little different, right? Everybody does Facebook advertising, everybody does Google advertising, right? You also need to do it. But at the same time, out of 10 advertisers that you see, you will only see a couple of people, investing in a platform like Outbrain. Right, and I'm just using Outbrain as an example, not trying to sell the platform, right? Uh, just wanted to give you a sense of some data, right? And how so people talk about campaign optimization. You talk about before I get into optimization, what is the number one objective of running a paid media campaign if you are a non-e-commerce website, right? So the number one objective is obviously to get leads, get people to a landing page and get them to fill up a form, fill up an inquiry form, right? um, just look at the green graph here, right? And this is, and I'll dive a little bit into it, right? But let's look at the graph from December 2019, right? Which is this section. This green graph is actually the cost per acquisition, that is cost per lead, right? And then you talk about optimization, right? So if your paid media campaign is going well, you will see that this is where you started with a CPA of 628 rupees. That is, you are essentially spending 628 rupees for a person to come to a landing page and take the effort of giving his phone number, email ID, name to you, right? Uh, if your campaign is really working well, you should be able to see this graph where a 628 would eventually start coming down to a number which is as ridiculously low as 65 rupees, right? So possible. I mean, it's a humongous drop, right? And then obviously you see that it is month on month dropping to kind of reach that number of 65 rupees, right? And it can further drop as well. So obviously I'm not going to go too much in detail. We can obviously have different sessions where I can dive into the techniques, advanced techniques where such optimization can be drilled down and broken down into how a campaign can achieve such a low CPA, right? But just wanted to give you a sense of platforms that you need to be looking at, which are far beyond the traditional Facebook and Google advertising platforms, right? It's extremely essential, right? Okay. Now, I said that I will not speak a lot about campaign optimization. And what I meant by that is I will not go into the granularities of the targeting that has been used, the bid strategy and stuff like that. We can leave it for later. But one of the primary and one of the lowest hanging fruits of optimizing a paid media campaign is making sure that you have a landing page that is a converting landing page. Okay. Just give you some examples of a converting landing page, right? I've got 3 examples of a converting landing page, right? Okay. Uh, a business in the equity advisory space, okay, essentially helps you make money in the stock market. And again, it's just an example that I've taken of a business to really drive across a point here. And the point really that I want to drive across here is the simplest way of optimizing a campaign to get the maximum number of leads for the lowest possible cost is looking at 3 elements. Okay. And those 3 elements of a landing page are: the first element is the story, right? Now, if you look at this landing page, the story is very, very clear. I'm just going to, read out the story for you. So during 2008 crisis, if you would have invested rupees 1 lakh in Bajaj Finance, it would be worth rupees 6.3 crores today, right? That is the story of this. So this is the first thing that the person sees when he comes on the landing page, right? That's the story. Right. The second element is really the call to action, right? And you see the call to action here, right? Unlock a portfolio of stocks that helps you create wealth even in times of crisis. Now, very, very important. There is a lot of thought that may go into the color of the call to action button, of the text of the call to action button, right? So that call to action button becomes really, really important in addition to the story, right? Then you have something called as the hero element, right? Now, a lot of people actually call this particular thing during the 2008 crisis, if you would have invested rupees 1 lakh in Bajaj Finance, as the hero element. and the remaining part as the story, right? So you could have it either ways, right? But the point that I'm trying to drive here is look at the story of the page, right? It's a if you go through the page, it's a long page, right? It has a lot of text, right? But I'm just going to break down the things for you, right? So I spoke about basically the hero statement, right? So there's a clear hero statement here. There's a clear call to action, and at the same time, you look at the elements of the story. There's a strong reason for subscription given. There is there's an entire story of who the brand is, how the identification is done, what is the research process, etc., etc. There is proof of concept, and there is social proof as well, right? Client testimonials. Then you will actually see that in a lot of pages, right? Of this particular brand. You again see the hero element here, which is 400% returns in 5 years. That's the hero element. You have a strong call to action saying, if you want access to multi-bagger stocks, why don't you give your contact details and subscribe, right? And so in addition to the call to action and the hero statement, there is this entire story saying why you should subscribe with the brand. There is proof of concept, there is social proof, and you'll see that consistency in all of their landing pages, right? Here also a very, very strong hero statement, very, very strong call to action, an excellent story, right? Which is consistent. So you will see why in the story, you will see how in the story, you will see the social proof in the story, right? What customers have to say and stuff like that. So really, this is one of the simpler ways of optimizing a paid media campaign, right? People talk about a lot of fancy stuff on can we get the bid right, should we get the targeting right, etc., etc. No doubt that is important, right? I'm not saying that that's not important, but if you're starting out, one of the most important things that you need to do is convey what your business is all about in a nicely designed landing page, right? Okay. Moving on to the second vertical that I really want to talk about for the next 5 to 6 minutes is the organic media vertical, right? Organic use of organic media for new customer acquisition or lead generation, right? I'm sure everybody has heard about SEO, right? There is enough talk about search engine optimization, right? You would have you know you would have seen a lot of videos, or you would have read a lot of articles on what SEO is, what is on-page SEO, what is off-page SEO, right? I happen to start my career doing SEO, right? And over the years, I've obviously worked with a lot of clients, and I continue to do SEO. SEO I've seen has evolved a lot during the last 10 years. And right now, I mean, however hard it sounds, right? If you're good with content, you're going to ace SEO, right? If you're not good with content, if you cannot write, okay, you either get a person who can write, otherwise you're going to struggle with SEO, right? I wish we were living in an era which was 10 years back when I started doing SEO. Their content did not have as much of a significance as it is having today, right? Today, in fact, there's a popular concept of SEO called link building, which is essentially getting other websites to talk about your brand and linking to your website, right? Over the years, I've accumulated enough data to kind of conclude that link building is dead, right? For lack of a better word, right? It just boils down to on-page content, right? It just boils down to on-page content, and I'll give you an example, and using the same brand for a consistency perspective, right? Look at one of the pages, right? Uh, Now look at the page title. I'm just going to hover, and you're going to see the page title. Best high growth stocks to invest in the share market. They really understand that people are searching for growth stocks in this particular market. And if you see the content on the page, it is very cleverly written, based on high growth stocks, and look at the amount of content that is there, right? So don't try and fool yourself or be happy with the fact that there is going to be some hack in SEO that is going to get you on the number one position in Google. It's not. It has to be boring, long form content, and I can't repeat this enough, that it has to be rich content from a word perspective, right? There needs to be enough meat on the page, right? You'll see that this is a infinitely long landing page, right? I mean, and look at it, and all their landing pages are like that. Let me show you another landing page of theirs, right? It's just, it's humongous. I mean, and look at this. I mean, it's a lot of content, right? But it ranks, right? And this is where I am coming to, right? So essentially, as I said, SEO is all about content. A lot of times when I use this word, I get asked the question, then where is the marketing element of SEO, right? Because content traditionally has been a content writer's job, hasn't been a marketer's job, right? Now the marketer's element in search engine optimization is in a field called conversion rate optimization, right? Which is popularly in the industry called CRO, right? Now, conversion rate optimization is a basic concept which really fuels from the word called lead magnet. Now imagine this page. Okay, it's such an infinitely long page. But the reason you're running a business, I told earlier, is for two reasons, right? Either to get customers directly online or to get the contact details of your customers. Because they are in the financial services domain, this brand is in the financial services domain. They have to acquire the contact information of users, right? And look at the lead magnets. So as I scroll down the page, you'll understand the lead magnets, right? The first lead magnet: wish to invest in multi-bagger stocks. There's a form here, right? Then you read content, you keep reading, you keep reading, you keep reading, you keep reading, reading. You get the second lead magnet, where you can get their bank details and make a payment. You go down, you have a third lead magnet. You don't want to make a payment, wish to know more on how to get started in the share market. You can actually give your information. You keep going down, you have the fourth lead magnet, right? So you have four proper lead magnets on this page, on this page that looks like an infinite scroll, right? In addition to that, if you have taken note, there are three other lead magnets which are consistent on the page. So as I keep going down, I see that on the left I get a pop-up: get free fundamental stock market research reports worth rupees 10,000. When I click on that, I am prompted to fill up a form. That's their fourth or fifth lead magnet, right? The fourth lead magnet. Consistently, I see a chat button here, which is their fifth lead magnet, right? And the last lead magnet, which is a constant, is if I want to give a missed call, I can actually give a missed call, right? So the point that I'm trying to make is because SEO has become so content heavy, and take it with a pinch of salt, whenever anybody uses the word content, it is heavy content, right? And there may be arguments that you can use videos, you can use infographics, you can use text, you can use whatever you want, right? The easiest form of content is textual content. Easiest form to produce is textual content. You might use videos, you might use everything, but at the end of the day, it has to be content. Now when it is such a long content, and there is this opportunity of or there is this a scenario of an infinite scroll on a particular landing page, how do you kind of then think like a marketer when you're doing SEO? And that is where those lead magnets, the entire concept of conversion rate optimization, where if you're getting a person organically through SEO on any of your website landing pages. Mind you, don't confuse this with the paid landing pages, right? There's a fundamental difference. So if you look at any paid landing page, so this is their paid landing page. That is, someone who clicks on a Facebook ad will actually come to this page. This is a landing page which you can't do anything with. You have to either close your browser or your tab and exit from the landing page, or you have to just fill the form. Right? You cannot go to some other section of the website from this page. This is for paid media. But for organic media, where you have different product pages on your website, there are so many distracting elements, right? So you have this which is clickable, you have all these sections which are clickable, you have sign in which is clickable, etc., etc. there the concept of conversion rate optimization really should excite a marketer, because writing good content and getting traffic to the website is just one problem that is solved. You need to make sure that this long form content of yours, you could be a part of any industry, but that long form content needs to convert into contact information of a particular individual. If you are not getting the contact information of a particular individual, you don't deserve to be in the lead generation business then, right? There's no point of having a website. Then you should be an informational website, right? So that's important. The last thing that I wanted to cover is, people get really excited with getting traffic on the website. Some of them go to the extent of acing the art of lead generation. That is, they are able to generate leads free of cost. They are able to generate leads at a cost of 50 rupees, 60 rupees per lead. A lot of people end up doing that, right? What they do not end up achieving, unfortunately, is the nurturing aspect of the lead, right? E-commerce business is a little simpler in that way, because you don't have to nurture an audience, right? You get an audience to your website and you get him to buy, right? Obviously, there is some amount of nurturing required there as well if the person doesn't end up buying from you and stuff like that. But in a lead generation business, you have to nurture each and every lead, right? Very, very rarely think about your own buying experience. If you're buying a life insurance policy or a health insurance policy, how many times has it happened that you have seen an ad, or you've gone to a website, you filled up a form, and within half an hour you've taken the decision and paid your premium and said that, I'm going to go ahead with this life insurance policy or health insurance policy. The chances of that happening are close to zero, right? It never happens. You usually research other brands. You take 2-3 days to kind of make a decision. It happens for every lead generation heavy industry, be it education, be it insurance, be it equity, be it asset management, etc., real estate, whatever, right? And that is why nurturing is really, really important. And for that, again, I'm just going to show you some examples. Uh, Again, this is a screenshot of, or this is the logins of a CRM called Lead Squared. Again, I'm not advocating this tool at all. You could use any CRM. The point that I'm trying to make is nurturing is important, right? Now, look at this, right? So this particular customer ended up coming to the website and filling up a form 7 days back, right? So you have 7 days back, he started coming, he became a lead, right? And after that, he became a customer, right? He's become a customer on 14th of June. That is what the activity says, right? Now, what happened within, during those 7 days? So a customer doesn't just become a lead and become a customer automatically. There needs to be strong nurturing. And just to give you some examples of nurturing, right? The best way to do nurturing today is through email marketing. I mean, I've heard a lot of articles, countless number of times, people telling me that email marketing is dead. Trust me, from my experience in doing email marketing for several brands today, I can tell you the open rates, and for sure it is not dead. Right? I mean, in fact, it is the other way around. It seems to be booming, right? Obviously, I'm saying that there is a strong amount of relevance that needs to be there. So you can't spam people with email or any other channel. Once a person gives you their contact information, till the time he becomes a customer, you just need to start nurturing him, right? With knowledge-oriented content, right? And just give you some examples of the knowledge-oriented content pieces, right? Another example, right? Knowledge-oriented content, right? So now, why do you need to do that? So basically, in a lead generation business, what happens is that inherently you will have a person coming to a landing page, a person filling up his contact information, and then your sales agents trying to get in touch with him. right? Now sales as a function is a pushy function, right? But marketing as a function is not supposed to be a pushy function, right? It needs to be a function where there is some scope of nurturing, there is some scope of thought leadership, some scope of content marketing, and that is where during those 7 or 8 days till the time a lead becomes a customer or a lead doesn't become a customer, you need to do your bit as a marketing as a marketer, to be able to nurture people with knowledge oriented content, be it videos, be it blogs, be it just simple text emailers, so that they are connected with the brand and they eventually convert, right? So just to conclude, in just by doing paid media marketing or just by doing SEO and getting traffic to your website, you just solve one out of the three problems, right? You've got traffic to your website. The second problem is you need to make sure that that traffic converts into a lead. And that is where your landing page optimization, your conversion rate optimization comes into the picture. And the third and the final thing is once a person becomes a lead, you don't leave that lead as it is, right? You got to nurture that lead to become a customer. So really at the end of the day, for a lead generation business, if I have to summarize, the three important aspects of digital marketing is one, generating traffic using free sources like SEO, social media, etc., etc., using paid sources like Facebook ads, Outbrain, Yahoo ads, etc., etc. Right? That's basically the first goal of a lead generation business. The second goal is making sure that that traffic that you have sourced from free sources and paid sources converts into an inquiry or a lead. And the third thing is that lead becomes a customer, right? So these three things, making sure that you get traffic to your website, making sure that that traffic converts into a lead, and making sure that that lead converts into a customer through nurturing, is what the lead generation industry is actually moving to when it comes to digital marketing, right? So that is all I actually had to share. Right. Let's open it up for questions. I was told that you guys have a lot of questions, so I thought I'll
Thank
keep the next 15-20 minutes just for questions.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much, Rohit, for the insightful session. We do have a few questions already with us, and of course, after this, probably people can start asking questions as well through the chat. So let's move on to the questions. So the first question we have is, what are the key areas where you can use keywords to optimize the site ranking?
Yeah, can you repeat that question? I
So
just lost a little.
what are the key areas where you can use keywords to optimize the site ranking?
Yeah, interesting question, right? Again, a very contrarian view. And I'll go to the extent of being as contrarian and as straight as I can be. When you're designing a content for a website, don't think keywords, right? Don't think keywords, right? Think a particular theme. Okay, to give you a very simple example, right? Let's say you are starting a blog on digital marketing, right? And you start writing about content marketing. Don't break your head thinking what are the relevant keywords for content marketing. Write your heart out when it comes to content marketing. Your website will start ranking, right? So and again, I'm going to throw a caveat here. I'm not saying that keyword research is dead. Okay, don't get me wrong. But when you're starting off in digital marketing, optimize for content, optimize for the user. So if you're writing on a particular topic, write for that particular topic without thinking about those keywords. All right, then go to any keyword tool that is available in the market. Go to Google Keyword Planner, go to Google Suggest, go to any keyword that you find, a keyword tool that you find, right? Submit the URL of the blog and look for related keywords, and then incorporate such certain keywords that you would have missed. Right. So for example, if you're writing a blog on content marketing, okay, and you kind of after writing content marketing, you figure out that the theme of your blog was supposed to be content marketing, but people are searching for best tools for content marketing. You might then want to update your content with best tools for content marketing. You might then want to kind of look at your page title. You might want to look at your H1. You might want to look at those SEO elements and then figure out where you can fit those keywords. but starting starting a content initiative by thinking keywords in today's world, it would actually be the wrong approach, right? Think content first and then use any keyword tool to kind of optimize your content.
Right. I hope that answered your question. The next question is, so this is a straightforward question. How do I increase my followers? What is the best digital marketing tool for a startup?
Yeah, so there are a couple of ways to be able to do this. Okay, so there are engagement pods on Instagram, there are engagement pods on LinkedIn, there are engagement pods on TikTok, where you have a community of like-minded people who come together and form a pod, and you can actually be a part of that pod. And whenever you are writing some content, they can start sharing your content, so that in turn you start increasing your followers, right? There are a lot of automation tools that you can end up using to increase your followers. One of the favorite tools that I end up using is called Phantom Buster, right? And yeah, so Abhinav has asked this question: is automation tools safe to use for any of the social media platforms? And I was actually going to give you a caveat there. All of these techniques that I'm talking about are growth hacking techniques. Okay, one of the keywords in growth hacking that people forget and ignore is hacking, right? And hacking can never be legal. Now there is a huge debate whether it is ethical or unethical. I'm not going to go there, right? But at the end of the day, any growth hacking technique is manipulating an algorithm that is being set by a social media platform, right? It is never going to be appreciated. It is never going to be 100% safe, right? So the answer to that question, so the answer to that question, Abhinav, is that nothing is 100% safe, right? But at the same time, if you want to have an edge as a digital marketer, you have to do some amount of growth hacking. So that for that some amount of growth hacking, whatever tool you're using, there needs to be a constant check in using that tool. So it isn't like you set something and you forget about it. You have to periodically, and when I say periodically, every week review that tool, whether it is working well, and stuff like that. So that is something that you need to be careful about.
Right. Yes, actually I used Phantom Buster. Actually, it's good.
Okay, good to know that. Good to know that.
Right. The next question is about sales funnel. So what is a sales funnel and how to calculate the cost of a campaign in paid ads?
Yeah. So so there are two concepts of a sales funnel, right? Whenever you have time, go through videos of a tool called ClickFunnels, right? So ClickFunnels is so the founder of ClickFunnels, and due credit to him, has really evangelized the concept of sales funnels, where you could have a one-step funnel, where you could have a two-step funnel, where you could have a three-step funnel, and stuff like that, right? So a sales funnel, essentially, in that connotation, is you trying to you trying to create a landing page which has multiple steps, so that you are guiding a person who has seen your ad and clicked on it through stages of the landing page, so that ultimately he could give your contact information to you, or ultimately can make an online payment for your services and business, right? So that is what a sales funnel is. What was the second bit of the question, Rohan?
Yeah, 1 minute. And how to calculate the cost of campaign in paid ads?
Yeah, so the most important metric that you need to kind of really look at when you're doing a paid campaign is the cost per acquisition, right? So that is what should be your key metric, right? It is essentially very, very simple. Okay, so let's say you spend 10,000 rupees in a campaign, and you acquired 10 customers. Your cost per acquisition is 10,000 divided by 10, which is 1,000 rupees. A successful paid media campaign is you getting that 1,000 rupees to 900 rupees, 800 rupees, 700 rupees, 500 rupees, 400 rupees over a period of time, right? So that is the most important, or the only metric that you should be chasing.
Right. Okay, so there's one more question, and to all the people who's online, you can start posting your questions on the chat if you have any. I'll go with the last question here. Any MBA concepts a digital marketer without an MBA degree should know?
Yeah, very interesting. So I'll give you a disclaimer. I lead the digital marketing module in Soma Institute of Management Studies and Research, which is an MBA institute in Mumbai. Ironically, I don't have an MBA, right? So I'm teaching MBAs where I don't have an MBA degree, right? So I did my engineering. I actually am a bachelor's and I have my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. And I'm not saying that. And then there was this meme going around. I think yesterday somebody sent me a video. If you get a chance, go through it. It is it's actually an ad campaign by DHL, where a lady is actually asking a new joinee to help with shipping, and the new joinee says that, you know what, I'm an MBA, I can't do shipping, right? This is it's too mundane a work. And then she says, no, this is very simple, everybody can do it. And then the ad kind of goes on to say it is so simple that an MBA can also do it. Right? So keeping that meme aside, I think an MBA concept that every digital marketer needs to know is, see, if you do not understand marketing, and I'm not saying that there are only MBAs that understand marketing, a lot of other people also understand marketing, but the most important concept that a digital marketer needs to know is understand marketing. Right. Today also, I give a lot of onus on the marketing theory. Right. In all my optimizations, I take the buying cycle as my base. Right. So I mean, you should be knowing the buying cycle by heart. Right. Realization, awareness, consideration, preference, strong preference, purchase. Post-purchase, advocacy, experience advocacy. So basically, if you know marketing, and if you kind of feel that marketing is an MBA concept, I think I would answer it in a way saying that marketing is something that whether you are an MBA or a non-MBA and you are in the field of digital marketing, you need to understand marketing.
Right. So there's another question in the chat.
So I've got that. Yeah. So okay, so I'll let me take those questions one by one.
Sure.
Right. So where to know about marketing, any good resources? Yeah. So I'll tell you. The couple of resources that I really read on a regular basis are Social Media Examiner and Social Media Today. These two websites for me talk not only about digital marketing but talk a lot about marketing concepts. Right. So Social Media Examiner and Social Media Today are good places to kind of have a mix of marketing and digital marketing insights. Okay. What's the appropriate budget for a startup that wants to generate about 100 leads per week? Really depends upon the kind of business that you are in. Okay. But if you're looking at a ballpark figure, you can start with about a cost per lead of about 200 rupees, right? So just multiply 200 by 100 and you get your answer. So a ballpark figure for a startup who wants to generate around 100 leads per week, you would get one lead for about 200 rupees. Okay. How beneficial is dynamic ads on Facebook? Abhinav, in my experience, really beneficial, and I hate to admit it. And I'm one of those guys who really feels that I am very smart with optimization. I can optimize better than a machine. I've been proved wrong not once but 10 times. Facebook dynamic ads tend to do much better than regular e-commerce ads that I set up. I can never beat the AI and ML that Facebook dynamic ads bring. Right. Having said that, and I'm moving on to the next question. Will automation kill digital marketing? Excellent question. Dynamic ads is all about automation, right? So when you talk about dynamic ads, you don't have to do anything as a marketer. For anybody who's done some amount of Facebook advertising, you'll understand it's so simple to set up a dynamic ads. Once the feed is set up, etc., that you don't have to optimize the campaign. But will that kind of an automation kill digital marketing? No, it won't, because a successful digital marketer is not someone who just knows how to use the advertising platform. You got to make sense of the numbers. You got to pick up trends. So if you can pick up trends, that tell you that in the next month your CPL is going to shoot up for XYZ reasons, and take actions today, you're always going to be successful. And an automation tool will only enhance things. Automation will not kill you, right? Okay. I have a doubt. Could you clarify it? Mention that what are the key areas where you can use keywords to optimize the site ranking. Okay, so I'll answer this very clearly, right? So there are a set of on-page elements where you could use keywords, starting from the URL. Right. So let's say I'll take the same example. Let's say you're writing a blog on content marketing. Your URL should have the keyword content marketing. The second is your page title, the title of the page, right? You should make sure that you have your keyword in the page title, right? The third is the page description or the meta description. The fourth is your H1 heading, your main heading. Then you have H2 and H3, right? So these are pretty much the places where you should have your keywords incorporated to be able to make sure that you rank for those particular keywords. Okay. I have a doubt. Can you clarify it? Mention what are the key areas where you can use. Okay, so I have actually answered that.
Yeah.
Should a fresher join the digital marketing industry? So I joined digital marketing as a fresher after engineering, 10 years back. Let me be very honest about it. Okay, 10 years back, there was a scarcity of entry-level digital marketers in India. Today, the scarcity is at the middle level and the top level. So if you are getting into the digital marketing industry as a fresher, be prepared for a very difficult time for the next 2 or 3 years. There is, honestly speaking, too much supply at the bottom and less demand. But because people do not, have patience for those 2 or 3 years, what is happening is there is a scarcity of talent at the mid level and the senior level. So if you're getting into the field of digital marketing, it maybe took me 1.5 years to 2 years to kind of really get a very good salary range. It may take you 3-4 years, but the mid and the higher salary ranges are definitely above all the other job functions that are out there. Most of the job functions out there, actually. Opinion on Bing. To most digital marketers, it is dead. Its association will. Yeah, so I work with a lot of Indian businesses primarily. It's been a while that I have not worked with a solely US based business. I work with businesses that have the market in US and Europe. So Bing, for me, from an Indian context, Bing ads haven't worked that well, right? I think instead of being a platform that is really ignored and does a real justice, especially to the financial services and real estate industry, is Yahoo Gemini. Right, so Yahoo Gemini is one platform that you should look at. It's too early to kind of comment on Bing and Alexa's association right now, but if you are in the Indian context, you can keep away from Bing, is what my experience suggests. Freelance and digital marketing is a good option. Yes, it is a good option, provided you are able to kind of source continuous projects, right, and you are able to add value. Freelancing is not a bad option, actually, in digital marketing. What are the aspects that I should consider while writing articles to make them rank as top as possible in an organic way? Yeah, great question, Akhil. So the only aspect, and trust me, this will work for you, the only aspect that you should consider while writing articles to make them rank is the passion for writing, right? Pick up a topic, write the best possible content possible, right? Forget about keywords. Don't think keywords, right? After that, when you feel that you've done justice and you've really written a great piece of content, then you look at any keyword tool and try and make those additions in your page title, in your meta description, in your H1s, in your H2s, which are small incremental additions. But don't think keywords while writing content. Okay, hi sir, I need to popularize my natural products in digital marketing. How can I do it? Yeah, so the best way to really do this, and I'm assuming you're selling these natural products online. If you are selling these natural products online, you should start a Facebook advertising campaign, and don't get too ahead of yourself. Start an advertising campaign with as low a budget as 10,000 rupees a month, and start from there. right? It's very difficult to not get that initial impetus without Facebook advertising. So you need to kind of start doing some amount of Facebook advertising if you want to promote your natural products.
Great. I think we have answered most of it.
Yeah,
There's
I think
another
there's one
question.
more.
Yeah.
Okay, so could you elaborate why link building is dead? Yeah, so this is Abhinav, honestly based on experience over the last 2 years, 2.5 years, where for all the websites that I run SEO on, I've seen that on page as a concept and content as a concept has taken so much precedence that your traditional link building is dead, and it's actually replaced by branding. So if you could for example, if you could get Economic Times and Times of India to organically write for you, that's the best form of branding. I wouldn't even bother about getting a link exchange. I wouldn't even bother about do follows and no follows and stuff like that. If today, if you look at the pie of SEO, it is 90% on page and 10% off page. So I might as well put all my resources on page and not worry about off page. Over the years that ratio has drastically changed, right? 10 years back it was, if you put ace off page, you were really doing well. So that's how it is.
Just to answer Kenneth there, he's asking for a one-on-one session. So Kenneth, if you're online, so you can reach a one-on-one session with him through www.qfuss.com. I'll ask my admin team to share uh, the address. And if there are any more questions, we can take it up.
Yeah, I think there's one question. It's a bit off topic. Just like Brian Dean does analysis on backlink and all, I want to do some analysis on a topic for which analysis is not available on the internet. How does he do it? Through scrapping website, or does he get manually to each website and record data? No, he definitely relies on some sort of growth hacking. He definitely does not do this manually. Honestly speaking, I wouldn't be the right person to know his techniques. But what I can tell you is definitely there is some amount of I wouldn't use the word scraping. There is some amount of growth hacking that he does deploy. Remember one thing in digital marketing, for everything there's a tool. Okay, let me tell you from my experience till today, I haven't come across one thing that I could not solve with a tool. So tools are many. If you have the right methodology, you will be able to find the tools.
Right. I think we'll conclude now, Rohit. I think we're done with the questions, and we'll probably conclude now. I just want to, I just want you to probably give a brief on how people can get access to you for a one-on-one session through Qfuss. So if you want to just give a small brief on that as well. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can. You were breaking up a little bit.
Sorry. Yeah. So I just want you to maybe give a brief to the audience here that they can reach to you and have a one-on-one personalized session through Qfuss. So you are one of our mentor. You are on the mentor list as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I would, I would love to do that. So, actually, when Siddharth from Qfuss reached out to me, the only reason I agreed to be on Qfuss is because digital marketing for me over the last 10 years has actually become a passion, right? And besides, giving strategic interventions and advices and all of that, I feel that I learn a lot when I talk to people who are either starting in digital marketing or have a unique problem that I foresee as a challenge to help them solve. Consulting businesses, consulting people, teaching has always been a passion. So very open to having one-on-one interactions wherever possible.
Great. So yeah, I think we'll conclude the session now. Thank you so much, Rohit. And for other people who'd like to have a one-on-one session with Mr. Rohit, you can access www.qfuss.com, and he's available on our platform as a mentor. So yeah, thank you, Rohit. Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys. Thank you.